Hello, our friends, and welcome to another episode of Trust the Tape, the finest show in all the land.
My name is Jeff.
And I'm joined by my friend Bryan Broaddus, former Cowboy Scout, matter of fact.
Hey, Bri.
Hey, Bri.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, Bri. I'm told Bryan has an exercise for me, and I like exercises. Well, sometimes. Sometimes I like exercise. Sometimes I don't. Yeah.
Depends on if it's rehabbing exercise. You're really not interested in that at all.
Yeah, the ones that I shouldn't be doing, I'm way in on. The ones that I should be doing, I'm pretty much out on, which is great. But an NFL draft exercise, you could sign me up for that bad boy. I'm good.
Yeah, let's see. I'm testing you out on something here. Okay, what I want to do with you today, Jeffrey,
okay,
is if I'm going to give you 4 positions.
Okay,
and if you don't say your guy is not there, the guy you want is not there at 12.
Okay.
I want you to pick me a player at that position at 44 and then one at 76. So you lost out.
Restrepo.
Yeah. You lost out on your guy at 12. And so now pick me that position at 44 and 76 to recover for missing my guy at 12.
All right, before you ask, I need to look up Tyleik Williams real quick. I need to see what happened during his 40. I know he fell down. Is he okay?
Quad injury.
Is it bad or is he okay?
I think afterwards.
I got him on Twitter. I got his own tweet.
Yeah.
I am okay.
Okay.
A little cramp at the end. Nothing serious. If I ran through and didn't fall, 4.8 or 4.9. Okay.
Sorry, sir. We don't have a time for you now, but you're a good player. We watched tape. By the way, Jeff, when we're done with this, maybe I have time. The crusty scout wants to say something about guys not running. Okay.
Oh, you hate them all?
I don't hate them all. I'm a dinosaur.
I would like to say something about guys not running too and offer some advice. Dearest Xavier Restrepo, who I love and I had ranked pretty damn high.
Yeah.
Don't run ever again. You shouldn't have run. That was silly. You just cost yourself money. Anyway.
I don't know. The film is really good. I trust your eyes with evaluations of wide receivers. Somebody asked me about Ashton Genty not running in it. Do I have the same feeling that I do for Will Johnson? Yeah, I do. I'm from an era where I knew your height, weight, and speed. That's my era. I'm from that. And do I need to change? Sure. Should I need to learn about GPS? Maybe so, But I think we're going into a very, for scouts, we're going into a very dark time because we live on measurables. We are able to compare players from times gone by where I could look at Dylan Gabriel and I could think, well, this is Tua, or this is, or this is DeMarco Murray, like I think with Hampton, times, measurables. We're starting to get into an era where the players are like, I'm not interested in running. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I'm going to do the workout and get the medical, and that's all I'm going to do. But that's a dark time for scouts that lived on height, weights, and speeds on their board. There was a time where, whether I was in Green Bay or Philly or Dallas, we had tags on these players, and that's what we had. We had height, weight, speed. We had Wonderlic score. We had any other pertinent information we wanted to put on those tags. And then when you were discussing the players, you were able to bring those things up. And I won't be able to, if Ashton Genty, I know he's probably fast enough, but I'd love to know what he ran. So am I disappointed that when these guys don't run? Absolutely. Am I beating up on Will Johnson because of it? Probably so, because I have questions about his speed. And I'd just like to know. That's all, and that's it. And now we're getting into a time where these guys aren't going to run. So here we are.
Well, at least you own your crustiness, You can acknowledge that that's the crusty in you, and that's an important first step.
Yeah.
Ecuador, man, you're not a running back away. How can you justify taking a running back? Because Ashton Genty's freaking awesome. That's how you justify it.
Yeah.
Taj, have you guys watched Jay? Oh, hold on. It's time to send Bryan a link. Have you guys watched Jay? I don't know how to say that yet. UCLA
Pull up?
tackle.
No, I have not.
Damn it, son of a biscuit.
Yeah.
Why are people so obsessed with overpriced free agents? Most of them don't pan out either. I'm just obsessed with the Cowboys trying to get better at football. I think they added a bunch of guys, and I don't think any of them make them better at football. But, hopefully the draft will, We're going to get the right guys in here, and then we're going to kick ass and take names. That's what's going to happen, All right, exercise. Hit me.
By the way, I see where Marky Franklin says they better watch the tape on these guys. You'll miss on players worried about 40 times. We watch tape. That's 90% of what we do is watch tape. That's why Jeff is kind of disappointed right now in Restrepo from Miami because he watched the tape and then he got a slow 40 time.
But I mean, part of it is, and here's why, like the tape is where you put them initially. It's just a matter of with the higher picks, especially, is you are trying not to screw it up. The guy's going to be here for 4 years. I'm trying not to screw up this pick. So I have tape on a guy and I say, oh, I like him. Good slot receiver, gets open, separates, makes the catches, blah, 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 blah. Then you give me the information. You say he ran a 4.83. Okay, so now he's a 5'10 guy that runs a 4.83. Give me the history of those guys in the NFL working out. Give me this physical profile and tell me, does this work in the NFL? And when it's almost always no, well, then now all I'm doing is I'm saying I still like him and I'll still bet on him. I'm going to bet on him at a different spot in the draft. I'm not going to do it with my second round pick anymore.
No, I agree. I just kind of, like I say, I'm 90% of the time I'm going to watch the tape. If the guy's slow or guy's fast, I just use it as a measurement to where I see it on the tape. If the guy has a good vertical or a good broad jump, I use those numbers to help me justify where I put those players. That's all I'm saying right now. All right, Jeff, if you lose your player at 12, pick me a wide receiver at 44 and one at 76.
Ooh, you know what? 44 is hard for me. If I don't pick a wide receiver at 12, I'm going to work under the assumption that Tetairoa McMillan, Matthew Golden, Emeka Ibuka. Actually, you know what, Brian? That's easy. Luther Burden.
Okay.
I mean, he's not in any first-round mock anymore, but that probably will make him like the guy that he goes 33rd when we start day 2 of the draft. Round 2 at number 44, I don't have a receiver that I love there. I think Jaden Higgins, Iowa State. If you want if you want the potential X receiver, although I think he's also a move around guy because I think he plays well in the slot too. Mm-hmm. But I think if they were going to pick a guy at 44, Higgins is the name I would throw out. And the only other guy that I have graded to go in that range would be Savion Williams at TCU. But I don't have any faith in the Dallas Cowboys to figure out how to use the 6'5" Deebo Samuel dude. Mm-hmm. So at 44, Jaden Higgins.
Okay, pick one at 76.
At 76, I'm going to give you the hard part is I'm just giving you where I have them graded, and maybe
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, because it may be that you have to consider the guys I'm about to say at 76 at 44. Yeah. Iomanor at Stanford, if you're looking for a big, strong outside guy. Mm-hmm. Royals at Utah State, if you're looking for a route running after the catch guy.
Yeah.
Trey Harris, Ole Miss, if you're looking for the
people in the chat.
Yeah,
people in the chat like Harris at 44.
See, and that's what I know. I'm going to have a bunch of guys, and a bunch of these guys are probably going to go before the 3rd round, but it's where I got them.
That's where you get. I mean, I'm asking you.
Yeah. Jack Besh, TCU. That would be a pick at 76 for me. And Jalen Noel, Iowa State. More of a slot guy, but I think he's kind of killed it in everything after the tape. On tape, I didn't love him as much as I like him now. I like him a little better now after All-Star Circuit, Combine, and all of those things. Like, I clearly liked Restrepo better than Noel as a slot guy. Mm-hmm. Clearly. Mm-hmm. Then my guy ran a 4.83. Noel was faster than I thought. I'm like, son of a biscuit.
Tape is what it is, man. Tape is what it is. But, you have an idea now. I mean, like, bad day, but I'll have a time on the guy. But the tape is really, really good. You can watch the Louisville game. Guy makes a ton of plays. You can watch the damn Cal game. Guys make plays. There's plenty plenty of guys that like that might be that guy, but
Dudes can't cover him.
no,
The
they can't
dudes can't
cover.
cover him.
So
They
you
run
went
as
with
fast as they want.
Higgins. You went with Higgins, and then who'd you select? At
Okay, if you
76?
you want one name at each spot.
I want one name. That's what I want.
All right,
give me a guy.
Higgins.
Give me a guy at 44 you would take and that you would be happy with, and give me a guy at 76.
Higgins at 44. Jack Besh at 76.
Okay.
Both of those, I'm going full size men that can line up outside while CeeDee Lamb has fun running around.
There's a side of me that believes that might be flipped on these two guys.
Like where they would be drafted.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
I know, and I get it.
Besh at 44 and Higgins at 76.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could say two good names though. I like what you did. Or I would consider Royals in there somewhere from Utah State. I really like him a lot. Okay, Jeff, pick me a running back at 44 and one at 76.
44, Travion Henderson, Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
76, RJ Harvey, University of Central Florida.
Okay.
Right.
I like both those picks because I have them exactly where you took them.
Yeah. Henderson's a nice second down guy. I love the way that Henderson is like, I don't care about this for the most part because you know me, I hate running backs anyway. But the fact that he's not a gigantic man and he pass protects like he's 250 pounds, I like that. Like that's a dude that's here to play football. Like he's 2-0 whatever he is, and you can have a D tackle come free, and he's going face mask first into that dude's chest. And then Harvey, I just like that he busts big plays and gives people hell.
Yeah, he's a guy that when you start to talk about make miss, let me ask you this about make miss with running backs. Does make miss help an offensive line that, people say, well, there's no way he's going to get yards with this offensive line, the Dallas Cowboys current offensive line. Does make miss help you make up for warts of maybe some of your offensive line?
Sure. And I think in most cases, when you're dead in the water, you're dead in the water as a running back, but you at least give yourself a chance. If you've got that, like there's like one of the guys that I do like on day 3 would be my guy at Oklahoma State, Ollie Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ollie Gordon has the Derrick Henry to him, where it's like if you don't have a runway, he's dead. Whereas Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, Dylan Sampson, guys like that, if something gets leaky, they got a little.
That's what I'm saying.
Play's got a chance still.
I think this is why guys that do have that ability to make miss. I think this is why Ashton Genty is so valuable to me, is because if you have a somewhat good offensive line, not great offensive line, he can make up for some of the problems that you might have while you're building your offensive line. Maybe you all of a sudden it's like, okay, we got another guy. We signed a guy. We traded for a guy. I think those kinds of guys help your line get better more than the opposite, where people are like, well, he's not going to be able to run behind this line. If you have the ability to make people miss, you can make people miss.
And I also think that there's a difference in the way that these guys do it. Because like the guy that I'm going to be lower on than everybody that I see is Cam Scattaboo.
Yeah.
And it's because like if you watch Ashton Genty and then watch Scattaboo.
Sure.
And those are the two guys that broke or forced the most missed tackles in college football last year.
Sure.
And I think one of them, the way that he did it translates way cleaner. Like Scattaboo's was full on battering ram, short guy.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
And Genty's was more like, no, I'm still just going, and you're gonna fall off. And it's like it's more of a fluid during the run situation. And the other one, I'm like, man, in the NFL, I feel like that's getting you tackled a lot. Can I knock out some super chats real quick before we continue on the exercise? Adam, they're putting a lot of pressure on being able to run the ball, even if we get Tet or Golden, they're a year away from helping. If we can't run and Fergie stinks again, we're another year away. I'm starting to see the name Tyler Warren in some mock drafts too, Brian. I don't know if you would hate that, but I'm starting to see the name Tyler Warren at number 12 in some of these things.
I have him as my best tight end, and I have Mason Taylor right behind him. I think Mason Taylor's a really good player. I know we've talked about that. But, yeah, Warren can do a lot of things. Play in line, play flexed. The blocking stuff I think is more than adequate. Yeah, I would be shocked, but he's a weapon. The guy is a legitimate weapon in the red zone. I know you don't know how much you're going to snap him the ball and let him run like they did at Penn State. But yeah, the guy's got.
You don't think we're going to put in the Wildcat package for him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Heist is in the super chat. Does Brashard Smith count as both a running back and a wide receiver?
I think he's got some. Yeah, I think he's a running back. I think he's got some rare skills though. You could watch him run down the field, run routes, and legitimately, like I say, wide receiver down to the goal line, tap foot, footwork, stuff like that. Catch the ball well. Yeah, absolutely.
Thoughts on obscenely wealthy geriatric white guys banning Lamb's nose wipe?
Don't forget, there's some lady owners in this league. Let's be fair about it.
Yeah, shots fired.
There's some geriatric lady owners in this league, so let's be fair. Yeah.
All right, who's our next position on the exercise?
That would be the cornerbacks, Jeff. Pick me. You didn't get one at 12. But you're going to grab one at 44 and 76.
At 44, I would like to introduce the world to Trey Amos of
Mississippi.
Mississippi of Ole Miss, right? Yeah,
Ole Miss. Yeah.
I absolutely love him. I love him. I think full size man zone, not afraid to be physical. Trey Amos is one of my favorite players in the draft. I have him right there, top of 2. And if he could make it to 44, that would make me very, very happy. 76, I'm probably going to flip over to picking a guy that's going to play in the slot for us. And I'm going to tell you that if I'm picking a cornerback at number 76, I'm picking Quincy Riley out of the University of Louisville.
Yeah.
He plays outside for Louisville, but I think, 5'10" man. Ball production, sticky coverage, explosion, quickness, wants to hit the hell out of people. Look at this, 8 picks and 27 passes defended in 3 years. Quincy Riley's my 3rd round guy.
Yeah, I like what you did with Riley. I have Noel Williams over him, but like I said, they're both right there. Have you seen Noel Williams from
I have him directly attached to Quincy Riley in terms of grade.
Okay, then so you and I are in the same ballpark there. I also would put in that mix Strong from Virginia Tech. They're kind of in that mode of guys right there. I know Parrish from Kansas State's a guy, but maybe a little bit later in the round, 4th round type of guy. So
I put Parrish lower than those guys too, and I feel like the world is telling us we're wrong, and I'm just like, we'll see.
No, Parrish is a really good player. I mean, there are some guys that are roughly the same height and weight and all kind of the same. Now we got news that our guy from North Carolina, the cornerback there, what is my guy's name over there?
He's got the fun name, right?
Huzzy. Yeah, Huzzy. I think that's how you say it. Huzzy from North Carolina had knee surgery. He
Perfect.
Just
drop him around. Love it.
So yeah, so he's in that group I have with Parrish. Muhammad would be in that group. Have you seen Muhammad at Oregon play yet, Jeff?
I have not.
Okay.
No, but I've seen chatter about him, so I know I need to.
Yeah, he's a good player. He is, and he's kind of in that 5'9" competitive run.
Dude, I love a tiny corner. I love a tiny corner.
Absolutely.
Tiny DBs are my guys.
So you took Amos and Riley, 44.
Amos and Riley
at 44 and 76. Defensive ends, Jeff. Edge.
Shout out to Ecuador, man, in Super Chat. Talk about Ashton. What wide receiver 2 scare you? Need wide receiver 2. We're gonna find a wide receiver 2. Okay, we're going to. There's a good chance they're gonna take Tedero McMillan at 12. He's the most picked guy on PFF's mock simulator from Cowboy fans. Is Tedero McMillan?
Used to be Ashton Genty.
Let's see. We haven't talked about edge a ton.
A lot of them.
At 44. In a perfect world, you'd let me cheat and have Mike Green or Michael Williams make it, but I don't think I can do that.
You got both those in the 2nd round?
I got them as 1-2 cheater grades. Cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Look, cheating. I just like to make as many tiers of player as I can to separate as many guys as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going through my 2nd round, and I got the BC guy whose name I'm going to figure out how to say.
Easy is what I call him.
Easy. I got Easy. I got Pierce from Tennessee. The guy
Pierce from Tennessee has got some very very scary stuff about him. off the field
All
that
right.
teams will probably have off the board.
All right. So just delete him, huh?
Well, I mean, it just know that if he doesn't get picked, you'll know why.
Okay. God, a lot of the guys that people really like in this edge class, I actually have in the third round. My second round guys are Easy, Pierce, Tui Maloau, Ohio State,
Ohio State, yeah.
Shamar Stewart, and Birch at Oregon.
Mm.
Do I have Tui too high when I don't think he's going to be really a pass rusher in the NFL?
I have him more in the third because of
And-
that, but he's very much he's kind of like what you had in Tyron Crawford.
Yeah.
Guy that could give you really some solid pass rush, better playing against the run, going to line up. I mean, the opposite though, he's played a million games for Ohio State. I mean, he is a durable, tough.
He's good.
He's very good. Yeah.
And then I have Shamar Stewart between him and Birch, which is obviously he's going to go 30 picks before where I have him, which is fine.
What if you flip the drill and do a defensive tackle? Would that be easier for you?
Yeah, but I do want to, just for the sake of saying that I did the assignment, I want to tell you that I will say at 44, I'll just follow my grades. It's Ohio State, man. It's Tui. And at 76, Landon Jackson, Arkansas.
Okay.
Oladejo.
Who else you got in that group?
Oh, God, my third round is huge. Landon Jackson, Nick Scorton, Josiah Stewart, Uman Mielen at Ole Miss, Oladejo at UCLA, Jalot at Louisville, Ivy at Ole Miss, Sawyer at Ohio State, and Sorrell at Texas.
Yeah.
A butt ton of third round dudes for me that'll all go before that. But what are you going to do? Yeah. Defensive tackle. Let's see. I missed out on defensive tackle in the first round. In the second round, I think Tyleik Williams, Ohio State.
Okay.
Oh, I love Tyleik Williams.
I
love two nose tackles in the second round. I love Tyleik Williams and I love Alfred Collins.
Yeah. Alfred Collins was in a boot the other day, and that was
perfect.
That was a calf injury, they say. Do you worry about a 332-pound man with a calf injury?
Oh, it's perfect. That gets him to 76. You know, now I can double dip at 44. Take Tyleik. At 76, I take Collins. Third round defensive tackle, Josh Farmer, Florida State. Darius Alexander, Toledo. Do I want a 1 or a 3?
Do you feel like you're around low on him? Maybe
on who?
On Alexander?
Maybe. I'm just where I am. You know what I'm saying?
No, did you have any thoughts about him potentially being a second round guy at all?
I have a spider on the monitor. No, my second round's too filled up with D tackles. I can't be throwing that many damn people in there. I like Alexander, but boy, he vaulted from Senior Bowl. He vaulted.
His Toledo tape was good. It was good.
No, it's good. I'm good.
Yeah.
But I'm good
I just know
I'm
the same way. I look at my defensive tackles and stuff like that, where I got him in the top of the third round. I just didn't know if you ever considered putting him in 2.
No, I got first round Graham, second cheater grade Nolan, second round Harmon, Williams, Grant, Collins, Sanders, third round Alexander, Walker, Turner, Farmer. Good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
What about your offensive tackles? Pick me one at 44 and one at 76.
All right, I missed him at 12, and here I am scrambling. I'm looking for an offensive tackle. Oh my God, where am I going to find one at 44? Can I get Josh Connerly at 44? Oregon?
I got him in the second round.
So he would be my pick at 44. I think that I think he's wonderful in terms of just the way that he boy, this is going to sound like a Guyton scouting report. But in terms of size and movement ability, and I think we can fine tune him a little bit, but I think he's a better player than Guyton was as a college player. Connerly would be my guy at 44. My guy at 76 is the BC dude, Trapillo, a super tall son of a bitch. Like we're gonna have to get a little bit stronger and stay on our feet a little bit more often.
I've been wrong about those guys a ton. Those BC not very strong guys. They go out and play about 15 years in the league.
I like him a lot. That's my third round guy. If I'm getting an offensive tackle in the third round, I'm taking that big old 6'10" BC, maybe 6'8". I don't know. He's a gigantor, man, and I'm getting ready for him to take Terrence Steele's job a year from now.
What did you guys do in your mock draft yesterday? People were talking about that. I'm sorry I didn't get to see that one. You had a mock draft yesterday for your show?
Oh, no, we didn't do a mock draft. We were talking about Chad Reuters, the greatest mock draft of all time, where he did his 4 rounds and he had him trade down and take Ibuka. In the second round, he got Collins and Travion Henderson. Like that's my dream come true. My dream come true for the Cowboys is you get wide receiver 2, but you do it while adding a pick. Let's effing go.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. And I've kind of talked to some people about this. I don't think teams are going to get value for their picks myself.
Yep.
Are you in the camp of you're not interested in getting value for your picks just to move down?
No, I'll lose the trade all day. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah,
so if you drop enough to where you should be getting a second round pick, but you just get a third, you're okay with that?
I don't want to lose too hard, but if you're talking about in a scenario where you're sitting in your room and you're like, okay, guys, here's the thing. Whoever we're considering right now, we are very confident that we can pick him 8 picks from now and still get our guy. Then I don't care if you lose the trade. And that's where I am with the top of this draft class. Whoever you pick at 12, my faith that he's going to be a better NFL player than the guy who gets picked 21st. I'm going to be like, we'll see. Like if I said, let's see, I'll give you my 12th and 21st players just for fun. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Josh Simmons versus 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Walter Nolan.
That's a big difference to me.
Okay. Well, if Simmons is healthy,
but no, because I have Simmons as my number one. Simmons is my number one offensive tackle, and I have Josh Nolan, or I have Nolan. Oh, his name's Josh. Is it Josh? Isn't it? Walter Nolan. Excuse me. I have Walter Nolan as my 5th best defensive tackle.
Will Johnson going to have a better NFL career than Jihad Campbell? And that's migrating. It's just like this whole thing, once you get out of the top 4.
Jihad Campbell sounds really banged up. And that's kind of
that's Alabama.
Do you not know? Do you not know what the situation is with this guy?
Dude, how many body parts are broken on him?
Well, let me just. I asked a guy. Hold on just a second here.
Okay.
I asked a guy about it. I said, and one of my trainer friends in the league, I said, hey, can you tell me about Jihad Campbell at Alabama? And he says, my notes have him with an ACL reconstruction back in 2018. He also had some arthritis in the other knee. He did injure both shoulders this past season.
Oh, hell yeah.
There could be some surgeries in his future.
Oh, God.
My trainer friend would really like for him to bench press and show that he's okay.
Oh, no.
Looks like he played through all this stuff, though.
Oh, no.
That's what my trainer friend said about Jihad. I was interested because Alabama, traditionally we talk about these Alabama linebackers. They, especially in the Nick Saban administration,
they're always banged up.
They were way banged up.
Yeah.
They were way banged up. So
do you think I would be a bad GM if I just drafted, I'd just draft all of them? They'd be like, look, this guy, we're really worried about him. He's going to drop.
Oh,
I'd be like, cool, second round. Instead of the first, I get him in the second. All right, who's the guy who's banged up that's going from the second to the third and from the third to the fourth? Give me all of them. Just see if we get lucky.
Yeah, we always talked about the Cowboys with Blue Star specials, second round Blue Star special guy. I'd be interested to see what people think about Ravel, the corner from East Carolina, and then also Morrison, the corner from Notre Dame. Yeah. Are those 2 potential guys you can maybe get at 44?
It seems like football might be tough on your health, Brian. It seems like
it is very tough.
A little banged up playing the sport.
Very tough. Very tough.
All right. Hey, I'll be locked into the draft show today. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Be on at 10.
Yeah, we're on 10 a.m. today.
Right.
Yeah, should be fun. We're gonna do. I think we're gonna do this exercise too. See what the guys say.
Okay.
See what they say. Yeah.
I definitely did better than any of them are going to do. Obviously.
Obviously.
Everybody have a wonderful day. Brian's doing the draft show at 10. I'll have the DLS Cowboys podcast at 11 per usual. And we will be back on Monday with another edition of Trusted Tape. So remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Speak